Changes from the 2-0 win over Serbia as we start the countdown to kick-off. Eder Militao of Real Madrid comes in at right back for the injured Danilo, and Fred comes into midfield for Neymar, which pushes West Ham's Lucas Paquetá a little further up the field, puts a little more attacking impetus on him in this team. But as Chris and I saw in the first game, the options that Chite has off the bench are ridiculous, really, and really looking forward to watching 20-year-old Fabian Rieder for Switzerland. First start for his country at a World Cup against Brazil. It doesn't get bigger than that. The first thing he does is bundle into the back of Vinicius Jr. and knocks him over, and Brazil get a free kick inside the Swiss half. 30 seconds played, 0-0. We are underway, and Casemiro takes the free kick short. Paquetá just inside the Swiss half, plays back into the Brazilian half. Ball is just knocked across from Thiago Silva to Marquinhos. Marquinhos plays back here to his right back, Eder Militao, so he gets his first touch at the World Cup. Comes back to his goalkeeper, Alisson, who has the sort of bronze goalkeeping gloves. I was having a look at those in the pre-match warm-up. Thiago Silva, lovely diagonal ball to the left, chested down by Vinicius Jr. And headed out of play by Switzerland's right back, Sylvain Widmer, for a throw-in to Brazil. No break in play, though, because Brazil want to start quickly.
Yeah, and we wondered how Brazil would set up with no Neymar, and Fred is playing high up in that midfield. Casemiro in his usual role just in front of the Brazilian back four, and Fred playing higher up than he does at Manchester United. Alongside Paqueta. So they're a 4-3-3 Brazil. Vinicius Jr. off that left-hand side. Richarlison, see how he fires after those two goals in the game against Serbia, and Rafinha, left footer off that right hand side, missed a couple of big opportunities.
He did in that first game. Still goal of the World Cup for you, the Richarlison effort, do you think?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Here he is on the ball just outside the Swiss penalty area. Manuel Akanji of Manchester City clears, hoists the ball high in the air. It's headed forward by Alexandro. Lovely turn from Vinicius Jr. Gets him away from young Rieder. Rieder stumbles to the ground. He takes on Widmer. Widmer can't deal with him, pushes him over. Vinicius Jr. has started well. He's won another free kick wide on the left. Attacking position.
Yeah, and he's got to step up with Neymar not in the team. Will he be their go-to man? Lovely little jink down that left-hand side. And a turn, and Brazil have won a free kick.
Vinicius Jr. has only ever scored one goal for Brazil, which surprised me actually, Chris. This is only his 18th cap, but you know, given his talent and what we've seen from him for Real Madrid.
Yeah, I wouldn't write him off just yet though, Bruce.
Coming up to 3 minutes played in the Stadium 974, which is also the dialing code, the international dialing code for Qatar. Corner, beg your pardon. Free kick for Brazil, wide on the left. Rafinha takes it all the way through that penalty area. No one gets a touch for Brazil. Marquinhos chases hard out to the right-hand side. Can't keep it in play, and that'll be a throw-in for Switzerland in their left-back position.
Yeah, I tell you what, it was a brilliant ball in, really fizzed in with a lot of whip and pace, and Richarlison made a run across that 6-yard area and didn't get a touch. Should have got a touch, but the ball goes all the way through.
9 goals in his last 7 internationals, 5 in his last 3 for the blonde-haired Richarlison. Ball headed forward, behind for a goal kick. So Alisson in goal for Brazil, Eder Militao right back, Alexandro left back, Marquinhos and Thiago Silva the two centre-backs, Casemiro in holding midfield, Fred and Lucas Paquetá ahead of him, Rafinha right, Vinicius Jr. on the left, and Richarlison as the centre forward. Militao heads it forward. Freuler gets a left foot volley on it. It goes straight up in the air inside the Swiss half. Ricardo Rodriguez, hugely experienced left back for Switzerland, he clears. And there's a challenge on Djibril Sow on the halfway line, which means that Switzerland get a free kick and a chance to have a little look at this football, which they've barely touched in the first 4 minutes of the game. Yeah,
well, he's, with no Shaqiri, Djibril Sow has a big role to play. He's had a decent season at Frankfurt. He's been their driving force. Just with Switzerland, you wonder how much ambition are they going to show. We saw a tentative Serbia the other night, didn't we, against Brazil. Will the Swiss have greater ambition?
Embolo chases the ball down the left. Alisson very quickly off his line, long way out of his penalty area, plays it forward to Fred, who knocks it straight out of play. Fred wants a foul for the challenge from Granit Xhaka. He doesn't get it, throw in for Switzerland. Long one down the left-hand side. The ball will bounce away from Marquinhos. He can't let it go behind for a goal kick. Plays back to Alisson, who gives it away. Vargas attempts the first-time cross. That is intercepted by Casemiro, who is in exactly the right place there for Brazil. Then a loose pass from Fred, and that goes out for a throw into Switzerland. Brazil 0, Switzerland 0. Here's Xhaka, chests the ball down, passes with his right foot back to Rodriguez. The one thing I would say about Switzerland is they do up it against the big teams. Chris, you and I did them at the Euros when they were 3-1 down against France with not long to play. Got it back to 3-3, knocked them out on penalties. In qualifying, they finished ahead of Italy, and Italy aren't here basically because of that, because they lost in the playoffs to North Macedonia. Switzerland won a corner.
Yeah, and 5 minutes into the game, we've seen a mistake from Alisson, we've seen a mistake from Marquinhos, and we've seen a mistake there from Silva. Really sloppy start from Brazil, and the Swiss have an opportunity from this corner,
which Ruben Vargas will take, all in Swiss red. I can just see one lone Swiss flag behind him amongst the whole sea of yellow shirts. Vargas holds his left arm in the air with his right foot, delivery into the near post. Who got the last touch? Goal kick. So a Swiss player did it. It was Widmer.
Yeah, it's a really poor corner, isn't it? You have the opportunity to put this Brazilian team under a bit of pressure, and really low corner, and actually thought it may have been another corner. It may have come off a Brazil player.
Give you the Swiss team now. Jan Sommer in goal. Widmer is right back. Rodriguez left back. Akanji and Elvedi of Borussia Mönchengladbach are the two centre-backs. Freuler and Xhaka, the midfield pairing. The 20-year-old Fabian Rieder wide on the right in place of the injured Xherdan Shaqiri, or so we've heard from Swiss television ahead of the game. Djibril Sow in the number 10 role. Vargas, who just took that corner, poor corner into the near post wide on the left, and Embolo, who scored the goal, the winner against Cameroon, through the middle. Throwing Brazil wide on the left. Whoever wins this game, if there is a winner, are automatically through to the last 16, although I don't think they've necessarily won the group. What we also know is that in the final group games, if Serbia and Cameroon want to have a chance of getting into the last 16, Serbia will have to beat Switzerland. That's a huge game, and Cameroon would have to beat Brazil. We know that already. 7 minutes gone in the first half. Brazil in possession. Ball is with Militao, number 14 on his back. Straight ball headed away by Akanji. Xhaka plays it back to Elvedi. Back to his goalkeeper, Sommer, who's all in blue but matches it with orange boots and orange gloves. Xhaka stretches, first time pass out to the right. Switzerland keep it. Freuler plays it forward. Casemiro is there to intercept, heads a bouncing ball forward. Vinicius Junior with a wonderful touch and turn, but unluckily for him the ball had gone out of play. That's a throw in Switzerland, wide on the right. Brazil 0, Switzerland 0.
Yeah, and we saw, we've talked about the Brazilian setup, and Switzerland there, there'll be a 4-2-3-1. You see Freuler and Xhaka just sitting in front of that back four. Djibril Sow in that number 10 position with young Rieder off the right and Vargas off the left. And Embolo got good pace. He'll be looking to really exploit that left-hand channel in which Thiago Silva plays for Brazil.
Switzerland have played it to the left. Rodriguez early cross, blocked by Militao. Fred gets to the loose ball. Rafinha passes it up towards Richarlison. He turns it round the corner. Freuler is there. Paquetá wasn't making the run forward. He was sitting a little deeper. And now Akanji, who's started life so well at Manchester City, just fires a pass out to the right-hand side to Widmer. So we know that Switzerland certainly won't be overawed. 2 World Cup meetings previously, one in 1950 in Brazil, ended 2-2. The one Chris and I saw in Rostov 4 years ago ended 1-1. Brazil have never played a nation 3 times in the World Cup without beating them. So if Switzerland aren't beaten here today, that will be a first in World Cup history. Elvedi's clearance with his left foot, blocked by Richarlison. Good sliding challenge, and the Brazilian fans applaud the effort there, and it goes out for a throw into Switzerland in their left.
So does that mean you're ruling the Swiss out here then with that?
No, I'm saying create history. I'm not ruling them out at all. Did it sound like I was?
Well, some people might see it that way.
Sommer, lovely first touch with his right foot, rolls the pass out to Widmer. Vinicius Junior comes trotting towards him. The pass is intercepted by Casemiro on the halfway line. Trotting
towards Widmer. No real intensity. We saw Brazil come out of the traps the other night against Serbia and really get after Serbia, press them high, but that was too easy for Switzerland just to roll the ball out from the back. quite a slow start,
Yes.
isn't it, from both teams?
Absolutely.
I think this will suit the Swiss. Get a foothold in the game, get some confidence.
Thiago Silva now right-sided centre-back, Marquinhos on the left as Brazil have the ball inside their own half. Here is Silva across to Militao. Swiss are pressing. Vargas tries to close it down. Rafinha's ball back to Militao. Wide it goes to Fred. Richarlison makes the run wide to the right. Fred doesn't use him. Tries to play back in field to Rafinha, and the Swiss have it back.
Yeah, you know what, though? I think because Richarlison had made his run too early and was offside, Fred was quite right not to play the ball, but the Swiss breaking out here.
Yeah, Switzerland attacking down the right with Widmer. He didn't go for the early cross. He stopped on the corner of the Brazilian penalty area. The momentum's lost and they come back to the halfway line.
Why would you stop there? You have the opportunity to whip a ball in behind the Brazilian back line.
Here's Vargas. A little bit of swerve and dribble, but stopped by Fred. Fred up towards Richarlison. Richarlison goes down. Elvedi's caught him. Free kick for Brazil inside their own half. Brazil 0, Switzerland 0. 10 minutes gone in the first half. Portugal against Uruguay is your final commentary on 5 Live on BBC Sounds this evening, and then the coverage starts again tomorrow on breakfast. Rick Edwards live over here in Doha. Chesney Hawkes is on the show.
Big
Chris.
fan of Chesney Hawkes. That's your era, isn't it?
And
Chesney
yours,
Hawkes.
Chris. Very much yours, Chris. And I know you definitely would be able to belt out the one number we all know. He's doing the halftime show, I believe, in the game tomorrow.
Really?
So he's on breakfast tomorrow. So yes, the final round.
Was that his only song?
Well, it wouldn't be his only song, Chris, but I think it's the one people know him for the most.
Can you name another one? Chesney Hawkes?
I'm afraid I can't.
Oh, there you go.
Can you?
Nope.
Akanji. Cross to Elvedi. I think Rick Edwards might have taken care of that, though, in the prep for the interview. I think he'll have a few. Here's Rodriguez. Oh, that's a nice interception by Militao. What can Brazil turn that into? Fred flicks it infield. Paquetá. Clever ball to Richarlison. Richarlison inside the penalty area. Here's the little cutback looking for Vinicius Junior. Intercepted by Widmer and knocked out for a throw into Brazil.
What a pass this is from Paquetá. Made a lovely pass the other evening, didn't he, for Rafinha, who missed an opportunity outside of the left foot. One bounce and feeds the ball brilliantly to Richarlison on the right-hand side, who tries to find Vinicius Junior but is cut out of the near post. What a pass, what vision, what awareness. He's got to step up, hasn't he, this evening, Paquetá?
He has, but when you see that, I think that really excites West Ham fans, thinking he's one of their players, and there's plenty more to come from him in the Premier League. Brazil 0, Switzerland 0. Militao, Casemiro, first time. Fred finds Richarlison, gets away from him, and behind it goes for a goal kick. Couldn't control it, and then he picks the ball up and sort of whacks it twice into his head. He's frustrated with himself for not making more of that.
Yeah, with his goal the other night, I think his confidence will be really high, but you just feel now the Brazilian confidence growing. Nice pass from Casemiro to Fred, first time out on the right-hand side to Richarlison, who should have taken that ball under control, but heavy touch.
And Brazil have conceded a free kick. That's the challenge on young Reader wide on the right-hand side. So free kick for Switzerland. 13 minutes played. Brazil 0, Switzerland 0.
And what did we learn from the other night? The Serbians weren't adventurous enough, and I think the Swiss are playing a very dangerous game if they're going to sit in, because the Brazilians eventually, with the talent they have in their side, they will create an opportunity or two.
Sommer plays out from his own penalty area. Ricardo Rodriguez, who's a very distinctive figure, wears number 13 for Switzerland, now plays his club football at Torino. Dark hair tied back in a bun at the back of his head. Embolo gets it back from Casemiro slides in. Referee says free kick, and that is almost in shooting range. That is inside of 30 yards, slap bang in the middle of the Brazilian half. Yeah,
lovely little over centrally from Embolo into and then pop the ball back. I think it's just over 30 yards there, Bruce. I think you're a couple of yards out.
Okay.
It's a long way, but Xhaka can hit them.
Xhaka can,
yeah, very good.
I don't think that's original.
Centrally,
I'd give it a hammer from here. I would, Chris. Yeah. Early. Look, Alisson's not had a save to make in the tournament. Why not? We know Xhaka can do
let's
it.
see. Let's see.
I don't think they will.
Xhaka Record number of caps for Switzerland. Maybe knows best, but we'll see.
He might do. Oh, look, he's taking a couple of extra steps back. Let's see, here he comes. Xhaka plays a low pass to his left to Rodriguez, and Switzerland will build down the left. Vargas with a step over. Rafinha's not falling for it. Cross comes in. Fred volleys it away. Nice control from Freuler on his thigh. Plays it wide to Widmer, and Widmer lets the ball get away from him. And that goes out for a Brazilian throw. I've got another apt pundit for you. You know, we were talking about Rio doing a Brazil game and Matt Holland doing a Dutch game. For a Swiss game, you could have Bern Leno, the Fulham keeper. It's finally come to me. I don't think John Southall's got that one.
He doesn't get a lot.
Throwing down the left, up towards Richarlison, having a really good physical tussle with Akanji. The ball gets away from Richarlison, still sprinting, chases it all the way through to Sommer, the Swiss keeper. He just chips the ball out to the right. Freuler's first time pass is a poor one. Brazil win a throw high up, and Paquetá comes sprinting over and wants to take it quickly. Throws back down the left to Alexandro, Brazil's left back. Quick pass to Silva. Silva across to Marquinhos. Marquinhos to Militao.
Yeah, and Militao, I think, you know, we know his favourite position is as a centre half. And said the other night, the Brazilian fullbacks aren't the marauding Brazilian fullbacks. We've seen Cafu and Roberto Carlos in the stadium this evening. They used to fly on, didn't they? Get forward, overlap. We're not going to see that this evening.
Roberto Carlos would have had a dip on that free kick, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he scored one or two, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah. That was against France, wasn't it?
It was in the Toulon tournament, wasn't it? Outside of the left foot, that famous one. Here's Alexandro playing back to Thiago Silva. Steady as she goes, I would say, amongst the shipping containers this evening. In terms of the start of this game, Marquinhos to Silva, forward to Paquetá, wide to Alexandro. He's fouled. Free kick for Brazil. Just inside the Swiss half, wide on the left. If it finishes as a draw this evening,
where does that leave us?
Brazil 4, Switzerland 4, Cameroon 1, Serbia 1. So Brazil and Switzerland would both know going into their final games that a draw would be enough to see them through. Rafinha trying to release Militao. He's well challenged by Xhaka, plays it to Rodriguez. Rodriguez with his right foot comes back to his goalkeeper. And Sommer is able to take a touch. Play it to Akanji. Paquetá is there. Couple of 1-2s between goalkeeper and centre-back, and now Akanji brings it away. Ball up the inside right channel. Reeder just lays it off to Widmer. Widmer plays a pass down the right-hand touchline. No one there for him, and Brazil collect it.
Yeah, in fairness to Widmer, they worked it really well. Nice touch from Reeder. Left-footed touch into the path of Widmer, who got beyond Vinicius Junior on the halfway line. Tried to slide a pass to Embolo, but Embolo had stopped his run.
Ball with Thiago Silva. Just comes ambling forward up to the halfway line. Dinks it to his left. Alexandro plays it down the line to Vinicius Junior. Vinicius Junior battling for it with two Swiss players. Widmer had a hold of his shorts, and then Reeder crashes into him, fouls him. They're struggling to handle him. Free kick Brazil.
Yeah, they are a little bit, but I think how long have we had? 18 minutes, 19 minutes. You can just sense they're missing that spark, Brazil, aren't they? You know, going into this game, the question was, can they replace Neymar? Somebody will have to step up.
18.5 minutes gone first half. Vinicius Junior could be the man. Comes wriggling in from the left-hand side. Half tackle. The ball's up in the air. Akanji flicks a header away. Paquetá nods it down. Beats one man. Crosses in, and Richarlison very nearly gets on the end of it. Cleared for a Brazilian throw.
Yeah, lovely cross in, wasn't it? But Elvede, right place at the right time. Makes a crucial appearance in that near post space.
Ball thrown into Richarlison, uses his body to hold off Elvedi, lays it back, and the cross comes into the far post. Rafinha jumps, he's beaten in the air. Militao is there in support. His first touch takes him away to the right, can't control it, and the ball goes behind for the goal kick. So tonight's commentary for you on BBC Radio 5 Live, also available on the BBC Sounds app, is Portugal against Uruguay after South Korea 2, Ghana 3. And then there's not an early kick-off tomorrow. We're into the final round of group games. So in each group, the two games kick off at the same time. So 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, we've got commentary with Ian Dennis and Rob Green of Ecuador against Senegal in Group A. We'll have updates during the game of the Netherlands against Qatar, and then at 7 o'clock, full commentary of Wales against England. John Murray, Matt Upson and Micah Richards. Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage will take the calls after the game on 6:06. It will also be on BBC One, so if you want our commentary during Wales-England tomorrow night, go to the iPlayer, look for World Cup Extra, and you can have the best of both worlds. 20 minutes played here, Brazil 0, Switzerland 0.
Yeah, Robbie Savage said the other night Wales should just fly home.
But before the third game, here's Vargas, little cut back into the Brazilian penalty area. Alisson picks it up.
I tell you what a ball this is. Vargas makes a run into that Brazilian left-hand channel. Great cross in. And Embolo on his heels. Should have just gambled, made a run. And he didn't do. How many opportunities are they going to get?
Yeah. Swiss coach Murat Yakin applauds. Got a look-alike for him, Chris. Mads Mikkelsen. If you know your Hollywood and you know your actors,
I saw that.
He's got really good hair, Murat Yakin.
Yeah, I had to Google him, but yeah.
He was in Casino Royale. He's the baddie in Casino Royale. So if you can picture him, that's what the Swiss coach looks like.
It's interesting. He's shrugging his shoulders at Embolo there.
Ball headed forward, that's good to So. So tries to take it inside Marquinhos, didn't get enough on the first touch. Sandro plays it up to Paquetá, no look pass from him. Vinicius Jr. plays it back into the middle. Paquetá says give it to me. Fred does so. Here is Paquetá striding forward, he's overrun it. Not a great challenge from Widmer. It's Elvedi, in fact, who stretched and missed, and he's still down. Rodriguez back to his goalkeeper. Sommer there just in time, clears with his left foot. Militao chests it down on the halfway line. Bit of Brazilian magic there, just 2 chest touches, little volley control, keeps the ball, and here we go. Marquinhos wide to Sandro. Sandro out to Vinicius Jr. Infield to Casemiro, 40 yards from goal. Rolls one down the middle, past Paquetá. No one there to collect it, so here are Switzerland with Widmer just on the corner of his own penalty area to Rieder. Back to Widmer, floats one down the right with his right foot, easily intercepted by Marquinhos. Oh, that's a lovely touch from Alexandro. What do you call that one?
That's a Maradona twirl. That.
Yeah, it's controlling the ball with both feet as you spin the 360, isn't it?
You ever done one of those, Brooks?
I've not. Oh, Richarlison tries a little flick, nearly finds Fred. Xhaka forward to Embolo, and I think that's a foul from Thiago Silva. That could be the next social media thing, Chris, if I attempt one of those possibly in the flat.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you've been on the end of an Elastico, haven't you?
I have, famously.
I have. Was that Perugia?
Perugia, in the Piazza in Perugia. Got done by an Elastico. If people haven't seen it, in terms of the social media, the @5 Live Sport feed has the last episode, the grand finale of Would I Lie to Bruce, which has been going on over here. Real jeopardy in it, because whoever loses gets the egg cracked on their head. So if you haven't seen it, go and have a look. Is it Chris who comes to a sticky end, or is it me? Here's Elvedi.
Will the Swiss end up with egg on their face this evening?
Or the Brazilians, with no Neymar. Akanji. Brazilian fans trying to get a little more from their team. Chants thundering around this stadium. Ball is played wide to the right. Nice from Widmer. Back to Akanji. 23 minutes played, still 0-0. Akanji, low bobbling pass across to his centre-back partner Elvedi. Elvedi crosses the halfway line, plays a pass to his right. So is there. So back to Granit Xhaka. Xhaka across to Widmer, and Widmer all the way back to the goalkeeper.
You said the other night, it's interesting Brazil's setup and the fact that the full-backs will be back supports to the wide men, but the onus then is on the wide men, Rafinha and Vinicius Jr., to produce a bit of magic, take the full-backs on and get an end product. Hasn't happened just yet.
Rodriguez charging down the left for Switzerland. Nice pass to Djibril So, just outside the Brazilian penalty area. His ball forward is intercepted on the edge of the box by Thiago Silva, only as far as Rodriguez. Granit Xhaka sizes up his options. Little short pass forward to Vargas. Wide to Rodriguez on the left. Back to Vargas. Cross with his right foot. Silva on the half volley. Clears. Straight back to Vargas. Looks for the ball down the channel to So. Thiago Silva read that beautifully. Steps in. Plays it to Rafinha. Not the best ball back to Silva. All he can do is thump that away for a throw-in.
Yeah, it wasn't a golden ball back to Silva, was it? But he's great to watch, isn't he, Thiago Silva? Doesn't have great pace, but the first 3 yards are in your head and reads situations so well, doesn't he? Made a career out of that. Balls going into the box. His anticipation is top draw.
Coming up to 25 minutes played here at Stadium 974. Brazil 0, Switzerland 0 in Group G. Winners of this group play the runners-up in the Portugal, Uruguay, South Korea, Ghana group, and vice versa. Runners-up in this group be the winners of that one. Embolo trips as he's challenged. Switzerland keep the ball wide on the right with Freuler. Nice little dart forward, sees a space into the Brazilian box, still going, then Marquinhos blocks him. Alexandro keeps the ball in play, loses it. Headed to his left by Casemiro. Sandro is knocked over. Brazil get the free kick in their left-back position.
Yeah, but maybe just feel that the Swiss are beginning to fancy this a bit more. Space opened up on that right-hand side for Freuler, in between a couple of Brazilian players, but Marquinhos got back and made the challenge. But this isn't how I expected Brazil to start this game. I thought they would come flying out of the traps. There's the talk, listening to Tim Vickery before the game, about Brazil respecting Switzerland and the way they play. Play with good balance, but expected more from Brazil. And of course, with no Neymar, they're under scrutiny.
Yeah.
Where are they going to get that X factor from?
Ball with Alisson. Alisson closed down by Embolo, plays to his left. Marquinhos. Alisson makes himself available again, swings at it with his left foot. Not the best clearance that. Freuler heads it forward. Reeder, tackled by Casemiro, also then makes the pass to Paquetá. Casemiro gets his body in the way, keeps it in play wide on the left. Great play again. Paquetá finds Fred in the middle of the field. Fred opens things up. Quick curling pass out to the left, controlled by Vinicius Junior. He's got his back to goal. He's thrown himself to the floor. Referee's not buying that one. And Freuler to Widmer, and Vinicius Junior makes the tackle, and the ref's not having that one either. Widmer thought he was fouled. Here's Fred, wants an option ahead of him. Keeps running, plays to his right to Paquetá. Just pokes it here to Militao. Rafinha onto the left foot, curling ball, great ball, Vinicius Junior, and saved by Sommer. Didn't quite get enough of it at the far post. It was on target. Best chance of the game, corner Brazil.
Yeah, but the Swiss would not have been happy because Widmer felt he was fouled by Vinicius Junior. But as the ball comes out to the right-hand side, Rafinha has got such a wonderful left foot, hasn't he? Shifts the ball onto his left foot and picks out Vinicius Junior, who's 5 or 6 yards out, doesn't get a clean enough connection, and Sommer makes a big save down to his right-hand side.
Corner for Brazil, attacking the goal away to our right. The majority of Swiss fans are there, delivered in at real pace. Akanji heads it away. Casemiro tries something special from the edge of the box. Ball is now loose inside the penalty area. Cross comes in from Militao. Xhaka is there. Clears, the ball goes high in the air, drops just outside the Swiss box. Embolo challenging for it. Militao sort of accidentally back heels it. Rodriguez is there. He floats the ball down the left. Silva nods it forward up towards Militao. Militao can't keep it in. Throw in Switzerland in the left back position. Vinicius Junior with the one goal for his country so far. There was the chance for another.
Yeah, he should have scored. Just seeing this pass again from Rafinha. Brazilian wide man to Brazilian wide man, right to left. He just doesn't get a clean enough connection. Chokes it a bit into the floor. A clean connection there, and Sommer from that range, no chance.
28 minutes played in the first half. Brazil 0, Switzerland 0. Rodriguez with a long throw down the left-hand touchline. Silva heads it away. Xhaka nods it forward to Vargas. Gets it back. Richarlison might be able to get onto this. Akanji makes an important tackle. Rafinha, lovely turn. He's fouled by Vargas. Free kick for Brazil. Paquetá didn't like the challenge. Granit Xhaka's getting involved, and for the first time in this first half, things are just bubbling over. You spotted a nice little line in the build-up, didn't you, Chris, about Granit Xhaka, what he'd said about some of his Arsenal teammates in this Brazilian squad?
Yeah, but it depends how you define nice. He said that if Martinelli and Gabriel Jesus play, he'd love to smash them. Is that
I mean, nice from a sort of journalistic point of view. It kind of stokes it up. I don't want to see anyone smashed or hurt, but I think he meant sort of more metaphorically. Paquetá, wide to the left. Vinicius Junior is tackled. Switzerland.
I think it was tongue-in-cheek, wasn't it?
Yes. But it'll be interesting to see if they do come on, the likes of Martinelli and Jesus, who did come on in the first game. Winner of this one, if there is a winner, are through to the last 16. What's made this World Cup so exciting so far? France are still the only team after 2 games that are automatically through to the last 16, which sets up brilliantly for the next few days of World Cup football on 5 Live.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, every group, as far as I know, going into the last round of games, there are teams who have something to play for.
Absolutely. Wales-England tomorrow night in full from 7 o'clock.
Is it only Qatar and Canada?
Correct.
Who are out?
Good knowledge. Paquetá. Back to Casemiro. Casemiro plays across to Thiago Silva. Puts his right foot on the ball, slows it down. He's talking to one player. He's talking to Fred. He's not even looking at the ball. He's talking to Fred. And plays his pass to Marquinhos.
Yeah, he's probably saying to Fred, we need a bit more from you, Fred.
Here's Marquinhos again. Deep inside the Switzerland half. Militao. Wide to Rafinha, level with the edge of the Swiss box, wide on the right. Lovely little step over. He moves with such a grace, does Rafinha. 25 yards out, hits one with his left foot straight at Sommer, easy save.
Yeah, he's playing himself into the game, isn't he, Rafinha? A couple of step overs on that right-hand side, quick 1-2. And then he's always a long way out, 30 yards, slightly off balance. Left-footed effort, comfortably gathered by Sommer.
15 minutes then remaining in this first half, still 0-0. Vinicius Junior with the best chance. He's running forward with the ball, tackled inside the Swiss half. Xhaka in for a 50-50 with Thiago Silva. Silva wins it. Richarlison's fouled. Freuler just wanted to break that up quickly because he felt Switzerland were in trouble. He concedes the free kick.
Yeah, and I suppose it's a little bit like the first half against Serbia for Richarlison. Didn't really get into the game, but he hasn't been provided with a great deal of service. It's a little bit flat in here, isn't it? You know, we rocked up at the Argentinian game the other night. I mean, it was pretty wild, wasn't it? Pre-match.
First Brazilian game was as well, Chris. I mean, that's a bigger stadium, Lusail. This is about 40,000. That one's double that. Cross comes in from Paquetá. Richarlison jumps. It came off Elvedi's head. Rodriguez flicks a header away. Rafinha is there first for Brazil. Wide on the right. Militao plays it back to Rafinha in his light blue boots. And Militao strokes a majestic pass infield to Marquinhos, running forward with the ball at his feet. Wide to Alexandro on the left. Marquinhos makes himself available again, the PSG centre-back. Here's Paquetá. Red shirts around him, didn't see an option. Back to Marquinhos. And here's Thiago Silva inside the centre circle. Diagonal ball to Marquinhos again. Forward to Paquetá, into the feet of Fred. Fred. Low ball to his right, finds Rafinha. Rodriguez comes out to try and close him down. Casemiro rolls it across the face of the Swiss penalty area. Sandro back to Marquinhos, to Casemiro. Lots of passes being put together by Brazil, but can they crack this Swiss defence? Rafinha to Marquinhos, almost up to the edge of the area, looking for the 1-2. Can't quite get on the return pass from Paquetá. Akanji just side foots a clearance away. Embolo battling with Thiago Silva, who plays the ball back to goalkeeper Alisson.
They're in control, the Brazilians, but other than that Vinicius Junior chance, they haven't created enough. But Thiago Silva showing there his quality, little nudge into Embolo. What a bit of control that was. Vinicius Junior off the back.
His back. Floated ball from Militao. Vinicius Junior was trying to run onto it, hit him on the back, and he kept it. Now they've lost it, and Xhaka wants to get Vargas away. Militao's got a chase on his hands here, and Militao does well to make up the ground, bumps into Vargas, wins the ball, dummies a pass back to his goalkeeper and plays it down the right. Now Rafinha tried to flick on. It has worked. Richarlison's there, who was making the support run behind. Rafinha to Casemiro.
He's a good defender, Militao. Not in his favoured position, but saw then his pace up against Vargas, shoulder to shoulder, only one winner.
Widmer has offered Vinicius Junior a bit of space on the left, and Vinicius Junior foolishly has got himself offside before collecting the pass. Free kick for Switzerland. 12 minutes remaining in the first half. Brazil 0, Switzerland 0. You were worried, Chris, weren't you? 11 goals have already gone in today.
Yeah, I said to you.
You said we're stuffed tonight.
Yeah.
You said guaranteed 0-0 now.
Did I say that? Was I that negative? I probably was. Well, we're hearing the Brazilian fans try and lift their team, but it's up to the players to provide the spark. Hasn't happened.
Yes.
There's going to be questions, isn't it? Neymar less.
Yes. Reader to So for Switzerland inside the Brazilian half. So plays back into his own half. Again, very smooth, steady pace to the game. Rodriguez. Wide on the left, forward to Vargas. Vargas turning on the halfway line. Back to Elvedi. No one closes him down. So the Swiss centre-back just rolls a pass here into the feet of Nottingham Forest Remo Freuler, former Atalanta midfielder. Elvedi back to goalkeeper Jan Sommer, who is the penalty-saving specialist for Switzerland, having saved his last 6 penalties. That includes shootouts.
The last six penalties he saved.
Sorry, excludes shootouts. Right. So that's not even in shootouts. That's just in regulation.
That must be some sort of record.
Probably, Chris. I don't know, but it is impressive. Freuler wide to Widmer. So if Brazil get a penalty, you imagine Neymar would have taken it. So we'll see who steps up. Richarlison, given the form he's in, might fancy it. Alexandro wins a throw in for Brazil inside his own half, wide on the left. Brazil 0, Switzerland 0. The great Ronaldo in the house.
What a player he was.
Oh, goodness me. Last time they won the World Cup, 2002, Ronaldo top scorer in the tournament, both goals in the final. Here he is watching Brazil, and immediately after the camera swung away from Ronaldo, they cut to a Brazilian fan who had the 2002 haircut with just that little patch of fuzzy black hair at the front of a bald head. Not the World Cup's record goal scorer overall, though. I'm sure Chris can tell us who that is. Ronaldo one behind him. Do you know, Chris? He's a German.
Oh, a long time ago? Or?
No, more recently, actually. Have a think.
Miroslav Klose?
Correct. Very good. I thought you might say Gert Müller, which was a while back.
I was thinking that.
He's up there as well. Here's Militao. Militao to Rafinha. Rafinha across to Paquetá, right in the middle of the Swiss half. Goes wide to Vinicius Junior, not at great pace. Back to Alexandro. Sandro wide to Vinicius Junior again. Jinks back onto his right foot. The Swiss double up. Reader clears. Sandro intercepts that for Brazil.
But he's always, said earlier, he's a back support, so he doesn't get on. He doesn't give the Swiss full-backs and wide midfielders anything to think about. They're sort of saying, we'll get the ball out to Vinicius Junior, Rafinha, you do something. You drive, you create something.
9 minutes remaining in the first half. 0-0. Vinicius Junior, you do something. What can you do? Now he does play back to Sandro, who's in support this time, making a move, edge of the box to Fred. Fred lays it off to Militao. Militao will hit it. Shots deflected. Brazilian corner.
Yeah, they actually worked it well there. Vinicius Junior faces Widmer up, but pops it back to Alexandro. Militao had moved into a position, 25 yards out, takes a touch, hammers a shot, but deflected and behind. Can they work something? A bit of imagination from this corner.
That's another one for the listeners at home, by the way. If you've got a spare moment, well, you'll have an hour while you're listening to the build-up of Portugal against Uruguay. Just had a look today at World Cup hat-tricks. 52 of them have been scored in World Cups. How many World Cup hat-trick scorers do you think you can name? 8 minutes remaining in the first half. 0-0 Brazil-Switzerland. Fred gets the ball, plays it back to Sandro. He's a long way out. Plays it down the inside left channel. Couple of step overs from Rafinha onto his left foot. Freuler's desperately trying to block him. Gets the cross into the far post. Sommer stretches and makes the catch for Switzerland.
Yeah, brilliant skill from Rafinha. Looked like he was actually going to run out of play on that left-hand side, but dug out a cross. But Sommer came and collected.
And gave it to Rodriguez, who's quickly made 60 yards downfield. And suddenly the Swiss are attacking here. Xhaka finds Widmer in a lot of space, the Swiss right back, who stops for a second, plays back to Freuler. And back they come to the halfway line a couple of times in the first half when they've had those opportunities to get something in and push on. They've not taken it.
As I said, that Serbia played this kind of game, didn't they, the other evening, where they were quite negative.
Cautious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it didn't work.
Elvedi striding forward, the left-sided centre-back. 30 yards from goal, wide to Rodriguez, one touch from him, in comes the cross, takes the deflection, Vargas on the turn, might try and get a shot away, and Thiago Silva just moves into view, blocks his view of goal, and Alisson comes out and gets the ball.
Yeah, do you know what, Vargas, really sharp turn, but Thiago Silva has seen it all before, hasn't he? Doesn't dive in, just waits for the touch and then uses his body brilliantly, eases him off the ball.
He was one, of course, Chris, famously missing 2014, wasn't he, in the 7-1 hammering against Germany. No Neymar, like there is no Neymar tonight. And no Thiago Silva, that horrible night for Brazil.
And you think the other night, I mean, the Serbians did frustrate Brazil, but it was Neymar who came up with that little bit of brilliance on the edge of the box, didn't he? Let the ball run across his body. And they got the first goal from that.
Paquetá's sort of playing in the Neymar role this evening. We have seen a couple of lovely touches from him. We've mentioned the attacking talent on the bench, the likes of Jesus and Manchester United's Anthony and Rodrigo of Real Madrid and Gabriel Martinelli. Marquinhos on the ball at the moment. Closing stages of the first half. Brazil 0, Switzerland 0. 5 live on BBC Sounds. Sandro really had to stretch to try and find Vinicius Junior with a first-time ball. Akanji clears with his right foot. Marquinhos underneath it, heads it across the halfway line. Casemiro is there. Side foots it back to Silva. Silva head up all the time, ball at his feet, comfortable as ever. Opens his body up. Plays it out to the right. Rafinha looking for the run of Richarlison. Elvedi's got it covered all day long. Finds Rodriguez, back to Elvedi. Closed down by Richarlison. Plays it to his goalkeeper, Sommer, who almost took too long.
Lovely
but his
pass, little wedge there, Bruce, out to Widmer.
Was, and this is good from Switzerland. Now, Gibril, so what can you do from here? Right in the middle of the Brazilian half. Casemiro breathing down his neck. So gets away from him. So turns and plays wide to Widmer. Here's the 20-year-old Reader in the team for Shaqiri. Flick pass forward, hits Alexandro, throw in Switzerland.
Just lack that belief, don't they, the Swiss? They're in neutral, Bruce. They need to go through the gears.
I've got the bingo card ready for you in Switzerland, by the way, this evening.
Well, if it doesn't liven up this game, they could all come out, couldn't they?
Rolls, clocks, chocolate, precision, that sort of thing. Akanji. Back to Sommer. Sommer again. Richarlison in his face. Plays forward to Elvedi.
You missed out cheese.
Cheese. Yes, yeah, obviously.
I had to survive on beef and cheese, didn't I?
For the first couple of nights, Chris, until I picked up my game. That's right. Here's Rodriguez. Bit of space for Switzerland attacking down the left. Vargas has looked sharp in the game so far, the Augsburg winger. Lovely little shimmy to try and beat Militao. Rodriguez, to So's first touch, not good. Paquetá now onto the ball for Brazil. Richarlison makes the run wide to the left. Akanji follows him, goes sliding in. He says he got the ball. Referee agrees. Richarlison's down, but Brazil only get the throw, I think.
Yeah, Richarlison rolling around. He's over at the side of the pitch. Akanji does get the ball, slides in. Richarlison up. And hobbling, hasn't made the impact, but those Swiss centre-halves, Akanji and Elvedi, will have to be really watchful of him.
What? Watch for the holes, you mean, Chris? No, come on. 3 minutes left, first half. Brazil 0, Switzerland 0. We're not that desperate yet. Here's Marquinhos. 35 yards out, inside left channel. Vinicius Junior gives the ball straight back to him. Switzerland containing Brazil, okay, as Serbia were doing in the first game, and then Brazil opened them up. But as Chris says, it was the little bit of magic from Neymar that created the first goal. Then the game opened up, and then there was the wonderful finish from Richarlison to win it.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to be too critical of Brazil so far, but they are missing Neymar's influence, their go-to man. You just wonder how much that's affecting the team on the pitch.
And when he might possibly return in the tournament. Casemiro floating one into the Swiss area, headed away. Vargas nods it forward. Militao manages to find Fred.
But did Guillaume Balaguer not rule him out of the tournament?
Well, I heard Emma Saunders said that Guillaume Balaguer was saying he'd heard that he might not play again in the tournament. I think, post-match after the game today, we'll see what Chite, the manager, says. I think actually he's already said, hasn't he, that he will reappear at the tournament, but we'll probably get an update after this one. Rafinha attacking down the right. Rodriguez focusing on that ball, crossing to the near post. Elvedi heads it behind. Brazilian corner.
Yeah, so disciplined, the Swiss backline and midfield. Vargas doubling up with Rodriguez. Rafinha feeding a ball in between the two of them. Elvedi, how many times have we seen him that near post space making a clearance ahead of this time?
44th minute of the game. Corner, Brazil. Rafinha's delivery. Oh, it's good at the near post. Silva jumps. It's headed wide. It's another corner.
Yeah, I think Xhaka protesting. The ball fizzed in. He's got a wand for that left foot, hasn't he, Rafinha?
Oh. Floodlights have powered down. It's suddenly gone half light, so it's not pitch black. Oh, and they're back again. That might have been Shaqiri, because he's known as the cube of power. So maybe they've just had to charge old Jordan up again and get the lights back on. I thought for a second there we might not get to half-time. Minute left in the first half. Brazil 0, Switzerland 0. Rafinha's delivery from the last corner was fabulous. Another one comes in. That's dangerous. Sommer punches it away. Ball loose. edge of the 6-yard box, stabbed away by Reeder, headed forward to the right. Rafinha will chase it, stretches, gets a cross in, flags up, the ball's gone behind the line. Goal kick for Switzerland. Those were two great deliveries, weren't they, Chris?
Unbelievable. The second delivery topped the first one, which is saying something. He generates so much whip and dip on the ball, and Sommer, it's a big right fist.
Sees it late, doesn't he, Chris?
Yeah, he does well. Really good reactions, and Casemiro wasn't alert enough, came at him quickly.
Still 0-0. Switzerland playing out from the back, doing it really well. Just 1 minute of added time at the end of this first half. Here's Vargas, he's got a runner through the middle. Freuler, Embolo's gone wide to the left. Embolo will get there first, tries to beat Militao. Now Switzerland have won a corner right at the end of the first half. If they can emulate the Rafinha delivery, we've seen one corner from them, Chris, and Vargas's ball in was poor.
Yep, it was. Hit the front man for Brazil at the near post, but created very little. I can't remember Alisson once again having a save to make. 2 balls on the pitch. This will be the last play, I suspect.
Yeah, 20 seconds left in the first half. Pressure on Vargas here to give his teammates something to attack in the penalty area. Vargas's ball into the near post, flicked on, headed away, bounces once, then volleyed by Fred. And away it goes, and that is that for the action in the first half at Stadium 974. Second game for Brazil and Switzerland in Group G. 0-0 at half-time. Vinicius Junior with the best chance of the first half. Rafinha found him with a far post cross, and he couldn't quite find the finish. And it feels a little bit like my driving around Doha, Chris. We're sort of stuck in neutral with Brazil, sort of second gear, getting a bit lost, and we're not quite there, are we?
Yeah, no, similarities to the first half against Serbia, where it was all a little bit flat. I think Switzerland will go in the happier side. Brazil have huffed and puffed. No Neymar, not a lot of chances. Vinicius Junior wasting the one opportunity they did have. They'll need to step up their game in this second half.
They will indeed. Half-time in Group G. Brazil 0, Switzerland 0.
Thank you very much to Alistair Bruce Ball and Chris Sutton. I'm also joined by Tim Vickery. It was a competitive first half without ever really sparking into life at any moment, Tim. How are Brazil going to break down this Switzerland side?
Well, we had one shot on goal, but I found it absolutely compelling. I thought it was like a proper World Cup game where you have to box for your openings against a Swiss side who pose more of a threat than Serbia. A Swiss side who defending comfortably, but also they're capable of advancing as a unit and having more controlled possession in the opposing half than Brazil faced against Serbia. One thing that Brazil did that I thought was very interesting, they swapped over the centre-backs. Thiago Silva coming to the right, the quicker Marquinhos to the left. What's that about? That's about freeing the left back, Alexandro, trying to get him into the forward line. You've got to have something extra to break down this ferocious Swiss defence, this very, very organised Swiss defence. So towards the end of the half, they're trying to get Alexandro up into the forward line. Right side for Brazil hasn't really worked. They haven't been able to get Rafinha into the game as much as they would like. And I told you before the game that Rodrigo would probably be the first option. He's been warming up before half-time, so it'll be interesting to see if he comes on after the interval.
It will be interesting to see if that happens. And I know you described the first half as compelling. People getting in touch with us via social media, very much not of that opinion. Grace says, I don't know what to make of the claims that Brazil can be more effective without Neymar, but I do know they are significantly less fun to watch. Mark said, somebody lowered the lights at Stadium 974 before Brazil took their corner, and it's almost the most exciting thing that's happened so far. What are they missing, Tim?
Well, I can tell you that when the lights went down, I thought it was all Brazil's fault. Because I don't know if you can hear in the back, but we've got a ferocious tropical storm going on. I feel very, very sorry for those who've gone over to the Fan Fest on Copacabana Beach. They will be getting absolutely drenched. So I thought it was rain here that was provoking a power cut there. Thankfully, that's not the case. Well, remember against Serbia that they had to work hard for their openings. Now, no Neymar. And that takes away, and the idea that they were going to be a better side without Neymar, whatever you might think of him, is pure fiction. because he gets in between the lines, makes things happen between the lines, brings the wingers into the game. They'll be hoping that Rodrigo will do that if they bring him on in the second half. I would imagine that Paquetá will go back to his position that he played against Serbia, to the right there in place of Fred, and Rodrigo will come on and they'll try and combine and play defenders out of the game and then slip the wingers or slip Richarlison in. The danger, of course, is that the Swiss are quite happy for them to do that, because the Swiss will wait for Brazil to overcommit and then go on the break, which is why I think that it's going to be even more compelling in the second half.
It is goalless at half-time between Brazil and Switzerland. More compelling action to come and possibly news of a change after what's been a goal-packed, eventful day at the World Cup. It started with a 3-3 draw between Cameroon and Serbia. Then there was a 3-2 victory for Ghana against South Korea. Still to come tonight is a 7 o'clock kickoff between Portugal and Uruguay. We'll look back and we'll look ahead after the BBC News with Richard Foster.
Take the World Cup with you. Qatar 2022.
On BBC Sounds, this is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Chinese authorities are clamping down on protests against the country's COVID restrictions. It's the only major economy with a zero COVID policy, meaning tough lockdowns and long quarantines. Police in Shanghai have made a number of arrests. The Conservative MP, Alicia Kearns, chairs the Commons Foreign Affairs Select Committee.
My gravest concerns are the kind of repercussions we will see both online at a street level in terms of the government response. And so I think it's very important the international community makes clear now to China that we expect to see, respect of the right to protest, the respect of individuals to gather and to communicate, and also respect for journalists and their right to film and record.
30 tons of cocaine have been seized by police, who say they've dismantled a drug super cartel behind around a third of the trade of the drug in Europe. Nearly 50 arrests have been made in Spain, France, Belgium and the Netherlands. 6 people were also detained in Dubai. National Grid says it won't need to ask households to use less electricity tomorrow. They published a notice yesterday saying they might have had to use the scheme for the first time. People in Bridgend have been asked not to speculate about the discovery of 2 babies found dead in the town. Detectives discovered them on Saturday night. 2 men and a woman have been arrested on suspicion of concealing the birth of a child. Rolls-Royce has finished what it says is the first test of a modern aircraft engine running on hydrogen. It was carried out at a Ministry of Defence base in Wiltshire. Alan Newby is from the company.
We're going to improve the efficiency of engines, which will use less fuel and therefore produce less CO2. We're also going to substitute today's kerosene with sustainable aviation fuel. But the advantage of hydrogen is that you can burn it without producing any CO2 at all. It's no hydrocarbons in it, so all you produce is water vapour.
And the World Health Organization says monkeypox will now be known as Mpox. It's after complaints about racist and stigmatizing language linked to the virus's name. The old term will be used alongside the new one for a year before being phased out. That's the news. Orna has the travel.
Thanks, Richard. So the latest on the M77 heading towards Glasgow northbound, Junction 1 at Dumbreck Road. There's an accident in one of the lanes, so there are queues all the way through to Glasgow now. The M6 is queuing northbound as well from 25 at Bryn to 26 at the Oral Interchange. A van's broken down in one of the lanes. Queues of 15 minutes. M60 has 2 lanes closed at 17 Prestwich and Whitefield on the anti-clockwise side. The M62 eastbound heading towards the M60 is queuing as well from Rochdale at Junction 20. There's a breakdown from 19 to 20 in one of the lanes as well on the eastbound side. Now, delays on the M62 westbound. That's around Merseyside and Tarbuck Island near the M57. Another breakdown there, causing delays with 1 lane closed. The M6 and Junction 5 at Castle Bromwich slow into the roadworks. M25 looking slow clockwise on the western stretch. 20-minute delays. 14 Heathrow to 15 for the M4. And anti-clockwise queues still there, heading towards the Dartford crossing. Anti-clockwise from 2, it'll be queuing, which is near the A2 at the Darrant Interchange. Orna Merchant, 5 Live Travel.
For 7 decades,
Thousands of songs.
has soundtracked the lives of generations of us.
But there's only ever been
One official countdown.
marking the 70th birthday of the UK's official singles chart.
We're playing the most streamed number ones.
From 1952 to 2022.
That's 7 playlists bursting with hits. Compiled by the official charts company exclusively for BBC Sounds. The UK's official most streamed songs.
To listen, open BBC Sounds, tap music,
And play most streamed chart. BBC 5 Live.
the FIFA World Cup, Qatar 2022 with Kelly Cates.
Hello and welcome back to Doha. The second half commentary on the way of Brazil against Switzerland. That one is goalless at the moment, but it's been such a busy day. Earlier in Group G, we saw an absolute thriller. Serbia were 3-1 up, and then Cameroon roared back.
And Aboubakar's in once again. He squares it for Choupo-Moting, and the flag still stays down. And Cameroon have levelled it up at 3-3. There's your answer. Can they play together? Yes, they can. Cameroon 3, Serbia 3.
And that, after all that drama, is the way that it finished. So Cameroon and Serbia have a point each from their opening two games. Ghana, though, have moved up to second in Group F. They won an incredible game with South Korea by 3-2. Ghana were 2-0 up, which was a little bit against the run of play. But then 2 goals in the space of 3 minutes after half-time, and South Korea were level, but Ghana got the winner later in the half. Here's what Ghana boss Otto Addo made of it.
We got the game under our control. Yeah, got a lead with a very good free kick. And then from there also things got easier for us. We played well. We didn't just kick the ball away. We had ball possession. And then from this we created some chances, and then another cross. Good positioning, good run into the box from Kudus, and then the second goal. After the halftime, we really had problems. They made some changes. We really couldn't get the crosses under control. And if you have allow 10, 15 crosses, something might happen. But then after this again, big congratulations to the team to be mentally that strong, to come back and score the third goal. And at the end, it was just like, passionate defending. I think we were a bit lucky. South Korea put a lot of pressure against us, and we also couldn't free ourselves in the way where we maybe could have killed the game with a fourth goal. Very, very good goalkeeping today. Atizigi did really, really good. And at the end, we were a little bit lucky. But this is football. Against Portugal, we were unlucky. And now we are lucky. And we are really, really happy that our passionate fight got rewarded.
Otto Addo on Ghana's 3-2 victory against South Korea earlier today. Portugal are on the move. Their team buses going along the roads in Doha, flanked by police outriders. On local television out here, they follow the bus all the way from the team hotel right the way to the stadium. It's like a car chase, but with slightly less drama. But the game itself could be dramatic. We'll have commentary of Portugal against Uruguay in that group, in Ghana's group. We'll be live with it after 6 o'clock, and commentary is at 7. Tomorrow, there's commentary of Ecuador against Senegal on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. The updates of the Netherlands against Qatar as well. Group A comes to a close as the double headers get underway. And then at 7 o'clock, commentary of England, who've all but qualified, up against Wales. And to qualify, Rob Page's side have to win and hope that Iran-USA finishes as a draw.
We're hurting as a group because we know we're better than what we're showing. That's the motivation we need at the minute. And it just so happens to be that it's England we're playing against. So, like I said, we'll pick a team, we'll be ready, and we'll go and have a go. I think this tournament has shown that every team is beatable. I really do. So, of course, England are beatable. They've got a wonderful pool of players to choose from, I might add. So, whatever team he puts on that pitch is going to be a tough challenge for us. And, of course, they're going to be favourites to win the game. So, we've just got to focus on us. And like I said, the group want a positive reaction. We want to go and show a red wall that we're not just here to give disappointing performances. We want to go out now and give a good account of ourselves.
So 2 games taking place concurrently at 2 different kickoff times tomorrow. At 3 o'clock, it's Ecuador-Senegal with updates from Netherlands, Qatar. At 7 o'clock for that England game against Wales, with Rob Page's side looking hopeful for that one. But Iran-USA will have updates from that. They're hoping that one finishes as a draw. Away from the World Cup, Rangers expected to announce the QPR manager Michael Beale as their new manager later on today. Comes a month after Beale turned down the Wolves job. He said in a club interview, "I've asked other people to be all in, so I can't be the first person to run away from the ship." But he is heading to Glasgow in order to complete that move to Rangers. Our Scottish football reporter Roddy Forsyth is with us. Roddy, there is a connection there with Steven Gerrard. Obviously, Michael Beale knows the club, knows the majority of the players at the club, but What's the size of the job that he's going to have on his hands this time around?
Well, you have to say when you look at it that it's a very substantial challenge. When he returns to Ibrox. He was part of Stephen Gerrard's coaching staff a year ago when Rangers.
I think we've just lost connection to Roddy. We'll try and get that back. Roddy?
Now they're 9 points adrift of the champions. Yes, can
Roddy,
you hear me now?
we just lost you for a second, but as you said,
Okay.
they're now 9 points adrift of Celtic, but they do have Celtic to play later in the season, and there are games there that they could win in order to try and claw the gap back on their great rivals. I want to ask you a bit about the reception that this might get from Rangers fans. For someone who was well regarded by the Rangers supporters, is that still the case?
It is to a degree, but remember what they're looking at here are the practicalities of Michael Beale as a manager. This is his first season as a manager. He got off to a good start with QPR, as you know, but since then it's gone a little bit awry. They've not won any of their last 5 games, and indeed they've lost 4 of the last 5 games. And that's not a momentum he can bring into Ibrox, because the thing that did for Gio van Bronckhorst, of course, was exactly the same thing. Rangers had lost their way and were opening up a gap with Celtic, which was so significant you could virtually hand Celtic the title at the halfway mark of the season.
Roddy, thank you very much. Creaking that line towards the end, but we got there. We got all the information we needed from Roddy Forsyth on that move that's expected to be announced later on today. 7 o'clock tonight, Portugal against Uruguay. Ian Dennis and Matthew Upson are at the Lusail Stadium for us. And Deno, it's a repeat of the 2018 World Cup last 16 match for those of us with memories that stretch back that far and that accurately.
That's very true, yeah. Where Uruguay eliminated Portugal in the last 16. Cavani got the 2 goals. Whether Cavani starts tonight, we'll have to wait and see, because he came off the bench in their opening game against South Korea. Of course, Cristiano Ronaldo got that record-breaking goal in Portugal's opening game, that dramatic victory in the end against Ghana. And we'll wait to see what unfolds as they meet again.
Matthew, the reputation that these sides have coming into this tournament and in previous tournament. Yes, he's not there, is he?
He's not, no. I'm on my lonesome at the moment.
Hey, will you answer my question, please, about the reputation that they have and the style of football that they play? Because I'd like a little bit of reassurance that this might not be a very tense 0-0 draw.
Well, at the minute, because you've got a 0-0 draw in Brazil, Switzerland, have you noticed that 14 of the 29 games so far have been goalless at half-time? And this might be another one, because if you look at Uruguay, they really do have quite a miserly defence. Since Diego Alonso took over from Oscar Tavares, they've conceded just twice in 10 games.
Deno, thank you very much for that. Not only has he given me hope for Portugal against Uruguay, particularly in the second half, he's also given me confidence in Brazil against Switzerland, which is where we can join our commentary team of Chris Sutton and Alistair Bruce Ball. Nothing subtle about Christopher.
That is a good one. Chris Suttle. I've never thought of that. I've thought of mutton before, but Suttle is brilliant. Thank you, Kelly. 30 seconds gone. Stadium 9-7-4.
That's cheered you up, you know.
Brazil 0, Serbia 0. Change at half-time. Chris Tim Vickery was talking about this. Rodrigo, the 21-year-old from Real Madrid, has come on for Lucas Paquetá. So Paquetá pushed further forward in this team with no Neymar today, and Chité's decided to make the change at half-time. So clearly he's clearly felt that Brazil, the performance needs upping.
Yeah, unless there's an injury to Paquetá, of course. But they've got one hell of a bench, haven't they, Brazil? But yeah, in the first half they did not create enough opportunities. They had the one which Vinicius Junior should have put away, but that was it. Lacked creativity, as they did against Serbia in the first half. Turned up in the second half with a moment of brilliance from Neymar, and then the wonder goal from Richarlison, who's going to create that spark this evening for Brazil.
21-year-old Rodrigo is the man who's been tasked with that. Akanji, poor clearance, intercepted by Casemiro, driving forward. Pass to the left, controlled by Richarlison. He's got Akanji in front of him, crosses in with his right foot. Xhaka is back to head away for Switzerland. Embolo lets it run past him. Thiago Silva fouls him. Free kick for Switzerland. Brazil team then, Alisson in goal. Militao, Marquinhos, Silva and Sandro, the back four. Casemiro at the base of midfield. Fred in that midfield. He's come into the team this evening. Rodrigo on at half-time for Paquetá. Rafinha wide right. Vinicius Junior wide left. And Richarlison through the middle. Switzerland have Jan Sommer in goal. Widmer, Akanji, Elvedi and Rodriguez as their back four. Freuler and Xhaka in front of them. The 20-year-old Fabian Rieder. Djibril Sow in the number 10 role. Vargas wide on the left-hand side. And centre-forward Brel Embolo. Akanji and Elvedi both came into this game on yellow cards. One more of those, they'd be suspended for the last game. And if this does finish as a draw, Switzerland will be in great shape going into that final game. It'll be a big one against Serbia, but either of them could potentially miss it were they to get booked here.
Yeah, and that will be a huge match, won't it? Because they're not keen on each other, Switzerland and Serbia.
Correct. Right, free kick Switzerland. Vargas, shoved in the back by Militao, is down just off the pitch at the moment, slowly getting to his feet. 0-0. At the start of the group, because Brazil were in it, you always felt Serbia-Switzerland, that final group game, was going to be absolutely crunch. And Chris is right, because of the tension, shall we say, between the two countries. Chris and I did the game in Russia in 2018. Serbia took an early lead, and actually Shaqiri won the game with a 90th minute winner, and then did a celebration with sort of political connotations that incensed some. So there's quite a lot going on around that game. That is still to come in this group. Brazil 0, Switzerland 0. Embolo plays back to Xhaka. Xhaka across to Akanji. Quiet, I have to say, at the start of the second half inside the stadium. Widmer just inside the Brazilian half. Switzerland in red shirts, red shorts, red socks with white trim and white numbers on their backs, playing from left to right. And Brazil, yellow shirts, blue shorts, white socks, throw-in for them on the left.
I think, watching the first half, I think both our judgments are that Switzerland would be happy with a point. And the onus is on Brazil then to really take the game to them, create something, go away with 3 points, and then they've qualified for the next stage. So it's a huge second half in that respect.
Yeah, winner of the game through to the last 16 with a game to spare. Casemiro lofts a pass high in the air. Manchester United teammate Fred controls. He's got white strappings on either wrist, wearing number 8. Lofted ball away to the left. Vinicius Junior controls, turns, tackled by Widmer. Throw in on the left. Vinicius Junior takes that quickly. Sandro, short pass. Little flick in midfield there from Rodrigo. It's his first touch and he's fouled. And Fabian Rieder is booked for the challenge. He was exuberant. He came in. I think Rodrigo did take a whack in the face as he turned.
I think it's accidental, though. I think it's, slightly harsh. Rodrigo, brilliant feet to weave his way out of a situation on the Brazilian left-hand side. But Rieder catches him with his arm. Rodrigo back up on his feet. Can they create something from this, Brazil?
5 o'clock back in the UK. 8 o'clock local time. Nice warm evening again in Doha. Little breeze in the air now as Rafinha with a double step over makes ground on the right. Vargas is back, clears with his left foot. Throw in Brazil. FA Cup third round draws always exciting. 7 o'clock UK time this evening, live on BBC Two. We'll bring you news of it here on 5 Live on BBC Sounds, of course. That will be made at the same time as Portugal-Uruguay gets underway. Ian Dennis and Matt Upson, your commentary team for that one. Thiago Silva with his right foot plays across to Marquinhos. Marquinhos with the diagonal. Vinicius Junior chests it down wide on the left. Slick pass to Rodrigo. Rodrigo running to his right, 10 yards outside the Swiss area, curls a pass to Rafinha. Rafinha whips one in with that left foot. Xhaka heads it away. Here's Fred. Fred's lost it. Fouls Djibril Sow. Free kick for Switzerland inside their own half. Yellow card for Fred.
Yep. Fred seeing yellow. Sow had just nicked the ball off him and was driving towards the halfway line. Fred behind him clips him on the ankle. Got to admire how disciplined this Swiss team are. Granit Xhaka, who we've seen play in a more offensive role in midfield for Arsenal, just plonking himself in front of that back four alongside Freuler getting the screens on to that Swiss back four.
Coach Murat Yakin, as Kelly was saying, said ahead of the tournament, most talented Swiss squad they've ever had. Incredible team.
Well, this is a different sort of performance then from Switzerland. They know their limits, but I mean, look, they haven't really got us off our seats this evening, have they?
Not yet. Here's Xhaka, just inside the Brazilian half, creeping forward. Good run being made by Rieder. Xhaka has spotted Vidmar on the right. Lovely control there. Low cross in. Oh, that's brilliantly defended at the near post by Silva. Brazil not quite got it clear yet. Now they do. That was good.
Oh, yeah, what a ball from Xhaka. Raking crossfield ball. Left-footed, wonderful left foot. And Widmer takes a great first touch. Drives to near the byline, pulls it across. But Silva, who anticipated that and slid in and made a really important challenge. Really important challenge.
Jan Sommer, Swiss goalkeeper, plays out to Elvedi. Elvedi runs into trouble, comes straight back to Sommer, has to stretch. First time ball off his right boot to Akanji. Akanji threads one down the inside right channel. Widmer is challenged here by Sandro twice. Ball breaks for Rieder. Little pass from Embolo, gets it back to Xhaka. Layoff from Freuler. Embolo, edge of the area, plays to his left-hand side. Vargas inside the box. Shots blocked, and that's a corner for Switzerland.
Yeah, I tell you what, more intent in the first couple of minutes of this second half than the Swiss had shown in the first half. They work it well out to that left-hand side. Vargas likes to come inside on that right foot, but good block.
Drew 1-1 at the World Cup 4 years ago. If you look at the last 4 games between the two countries, it does go all the way back to the late 80s. Switzerland have actually only lost 1 and won 2 of them. They have the better record in those last 4 games. Vargas corner in. Alisson punches it away. It bounces just outside the area. Rodriguez heads it on. So does Akanji. Caught by Alisson. Don't know.
Could have caught it. Decided to double fist it away, but puts his team under pressure then. Akanji heading the ball back in.
Right, what can Fred do now? He's got a bit of space to operate in. Lays it off to his right. Support from Militao. Militao's pass into the edge of the box. Easily dealt with by Freuler, and Militao actually apologises for that effort, throwing Brazil on the halfway line.
Do you think those records count for anything, Bruce? Are you a big fan of that?
I mean, one of those wins is back in 1989, so it has absolutely no relevance to these players here, does it? But if there's a psychology thing there and something that's useful for the players to build on, we should have no fear type thing, then, you know, it's up to you how you want to read it. Vinicius Junior is not going to catch that pass forward from Alexandro. Goal kick for Switzerland.
Was that a yes or a no?
I'm not reading too much into it, Chris. I don't think that has a particular impact on this game.
If you had to.
No. What would you say?
Well, they're making a sub, I think, the Swiss, aren't they?
Wriggles out of it. They are indeed. Edmilson Fernandez, name you might recognise actually, used to play his football at West Ham, now in Germany with Mainz. He's getting ready to come on for Switzerland. The ball's out for a Brazilian throw on the right. Militao comes across to take it. I think Shaqiri's coming on as well. So is it Shaqiri? No, I've misidentified Shaqiri, which is actually quite difficult to do. Alisson has nearly lost it inside his own penalty area. Tackled by Embolo. The loose ball bounced to Casemiro, who, as so often for Brazil, was in the right place at the right time. That was dangerous. Fred to Rodrigo. Rodrigo quickly wide to Vinicius Junior. Vinicius Junior, clever ball. Richarlison stretches, couldn't get a toe on it, and I think that's going to run away for a throw into Switzerland on the left.
Oh, how unlucky was this? They worked it really well. Brazil out to the left-hand side. And it was, in fact, Rodrigo, I think, with the outside of the right boot, trying to feed the ball to Richarlison, who's not far away, inches away at full stretch. Can't get any contact on the ball, but Alisson took a chance at the other end, didn't he? Took a heavy touch. He's so good with his feet normally. And Embolo shut him down, and Brazil got lucky there. Ricochet could have gone anywhere, but Casemiro there to mop up.
It's the Lugano winger, Renato Steffen, who is the other substitute about to come on for Switzerland. Newcastle United fans, pin your ears back. Bruno Guimaraes is waiting to come on for Brazil. So lots of changes coming. Lots of scribbling to be done here in the commentary position. Brazil 0, Switzerland 0. 5 live on BBC Sounds. Rodrigo, brilliant run forward, but he's just overrun it. Widmer's there and he knocks the ball out for a throw to Brazil on the left. Are we going to get the changes now, or are Brazil going to keep the game going? They've kept it going. Throw into Sandro. Sandro turns wide on the left. His pass forward is blocked by Reeder. I wonder if it will be Reeder to come off for Stefan. Chris, the 20-year-old making his first start for his country, has picked up a booking as well in this second half. Sloppy from Brazil, pass back into his own half from Rodrigo, goes straight out of play, throwing for Switzerland on the right. So Fred comes off to be replaced by Bruno Guimaraes, who's been sensational, you have to say, for Newcastle since joining the club. Big moment for him, appearing in his first World Cup, 9th cap. Renato Stefan is going to come on, but first of all, Edmilson Fernandez's number goes up. He comes on for Vargas, who plays wide on the left for Switzerland. And it is Fabian Reeder, who is the other player to come off, the 20-year-old who's been playing wide on the right. So Embolo, the centre-forward, stays on, but the two either side of him have been replaced. Edmilson Fernandez wearing number 2, and Renato Stefan, the 31-year-old, who wears number 11. Switzerland throw, wide on the right, Brazil 0, Switzerland 0. Portugal, Uruguay to come in full at 7 o'clock this evening. Cameroon 3, Serbia 3 in this group earlier on today. South Korea 2, Ghana 3, another thriller. And the throw-in is taken. Casemiro heads it away. Richarlison can't quite control it. Elvedi takes advantage of that, plays it to Xhaka. Xhaka chips a little ball to his left, chested down by Fernandez, and his first action in the game is to be thumped in the back by Militao, and he wins a free kick for Switzerland.
Straight swaps for Switzerland in those wide areas. Edmilson Fernandez going out to the left-hand side. Renato Stefan on this right-hand side.
Ball back with Jan Sommer, Swiss goalkeeper. Plays to Akanji. Akanji forward to Xhaka. Xhaka looking for the run of Widmer down the right, intercepted by Sandro. Thiago Silva quickly forward to Guimaraes. Guimaraes muscled off the ball by Djibril Sow. Good work from Sow. Pass out to the right from Fernandez. Two subs combining because here's Stefan. Stefan's ball in, lay off to Fernandez. Curling shot from the edge of the box from Sow, well blocked by Marquinhos. Militao plays it forward to Rafinha, and Militao continues his run. Rafinha can't find him. Rodriguez, great back heel to Djibril Sow. Sow has a chance to look up, pick a pass, plays it to the edge of the box. Here is Fernandez, the sub hits the shot with the right foot, sliding challenge on him, and the ball spins away and goes out for a throw-in on the right. Casemiro with the block, of course. Throw in Switzerland 0-0.
Yeah, big challenge from Casemiro on the edge of his box. Edmilson Fernandez just working himself a yard, firing a shot in. Casemiro, as ever, making the challenge. Just sends Switzerland fancying this the longer it goes, but if the game gets stretched, it may just suit Brazil.
Last games in this group are on Friday. They kick off at 7 o'clock. We already know Serbia have to beat Switzerland to give themselves a chance of getting through to the last 16. And Cameroon would have to beat Brazil. If this one finishes as a draw, then Brazil and Switzerland would know in those games they would only need a draw to go through to the last 16. But it's there to be grabbed today, because a winner today and you're already through to that last 16, and maybe, depending on what you want to do, change things up, give some a rest, try things out. Ball from the back from Militao, looking for Vinicius Junior. Brilliant. Brought under control instantly. Vinicius Junior, left-hand corner of the box, rolls it to Sandro. Sandro's cross in. Akanji blocks it. Switzerland get enough bodies there. Widmer clears. Clearance is blocked by Sandro. That's a throw-in for Switzerland in the right-back position. We're in the last half hour of the game, and it's Brazil 0, Switzerland 0.
Yeah, and you know, you have to say, coming into the game, the talk was all about how are Brazil going to replace Neymar, that creative spark, their go-to man. They haven't done so far. Nobody's stepped up.
That'll be the talking point, or one of them, in the World Cup Daily podcast, available on the BBC Sounds app, as Casemiro tries to float one over the top of the Swiss back four. Richarlison's can't get there. It's with Jan Sommer.
You think, well, an hour into the game, you had the chance in the first half. Rafinha cross, Vinicius Junior at the far post, and that other crossing opportunity. It was Vinicius Junior out on the left-hand side. Richarlison nearly got on the end of it, but other than that, Sommer's had a pretty comfortable time of it.
Chris Sutton with us on 5 Live at the Stadium 974 in Doha. World Cup 2022. Here's Freuler. Freuler's low ball to the left. Rodriguez controls. Rafinha tackles him. Throw in Switzerland.
Yeah, we were trying to come up with comparisons earlier, weren't we, about no Neymar? What would you compare it to? And I think myself and John Southall, the producer, came up with it's like going to a picnic without your pork pie, Bruce. No Neymar in this Brazilian team.
Right, so because you value the pork pie as the most important part of a picnic.
Well, I think a lot of people do.
They do.
Maybe vegan pie these days. I don't know.
Possibly. Here's Guimaraes.
Where would you be on that, Bruce?
Left.
You like your
I'm
food?
not a massive pork pie fan, really? Chris, but then I've also said I'm not a massive dessert fan, and Kelly Cates busted me eating another one of those earlier on today.
Yeah, you deserved it on the treadmill today, weren't you?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. Alexandro back to Marquinhos. Brazil 0, Switzerland 0. Guimaraes inside his own half. Xhaka closing him down. Back to Militao. Here's Guimaraes. Guimaraes trying to turn away from Xhaka. Can't find Sandro. Richarlison tries to get onto it. Rodrigo with pace. Just beats Widmer to the ball. Now leaves it here to be played forward by Casemiro. Vinicius Junior. Here's the chance. Can he score? Yes, he can! Brazil take advantage of the Swiss slip, and Vinicius Junior is mobbed by exultant teammates. Played in on the left-hand side, he took his time, he's rolled it into the bottom corner, and Brazil lead Switzerland by 1-0. It could very well take them through to the last 16.
Yeah, and Switzerland have been so disciplined, they've kept their shape brilliantly so far this evening, but Brazil working really well. Widmer gets drawn in with Rodrigo, and then the ball's popped out to Vinicius Junior. Elvede comes across, tries to make a challenge, misses it, and then it's all about composure for Vinicius Junior. And he takes his time on that left-hand side, inside the box, gets his head up, a couple of touches, draws Sommer, and just slots it past him as cool as you like. Real composure, side foot into the bottom corner. He's not going to miss those, a player of his quality. And now Switzerland, their game plan has to change.
Only his second goal for his country, as we were discussing in the first half. Missed a good chance in the first half. That is a big one for him. VAR just checking for a possible offside leading up to the goal. The game is yet to restart. We think Brazil leads Switzerland by 1-0. Richarlison's in the referee's ear. Our referee is from El Salvador. His name is Ivan Barton, and he's just 31 years old. And he's waiting. Oh, no, he's offside. Oh, hang on. The referee's still standing in the middle of the pitch, but so the offside is right up by the halfway line. It is offside. It's 0-0. It won't count.
It must have been in the initial build-up play. Yeah. Was it Richarlison coming towards the ball?
Wow.
Switzerland get a lifeline.
They do. Xhaka takes the free kick. Widmer heads it forward. Cross on the right from Stefan. Easy catch for Alisson at the near post. It was offside anyway. Assistant referee spotted that one. 25 minutes to play. I was just about to say as well, I mean, you were saying, Chris, it would have to change Switzerland's game plan. Whoever loses this game is then obviously under a bit more pressure going into the final group game, because a draw here sort of suits both, although it doesn't automatically take you through. But Rodrigo's ball forward now, intercepted by Rodriguez, and the Swiss breathe a sigh of relief. 0-0. Vinicius Junior's goal chalked off for offside. Portugal, Uruguay on the way on 5 Live and BBC Sounds this evening. Full commentary from 7 o'clock. Richarlison chasing a ball inside the Swiss half. Xhaka's got it covered. Akanji plays out to his right. Here's Widmer, just keeps it in play, right under the nose of the Brazilian manager, Chite. Clearance from Militao. Ball drops inside the Swiss half. Rodriguez under pressure here, was struggling to bring that under control. Did well. Akanji closed down by Vinicius Junior. Thiago Silva comes flying forward to win a ball. Now he's got to get back into position. He's inside the Swiss half, but slowly making his ground back as Brazil win it back anyway. Sandro to Marquinhos. Marquinhos forward to Guimarães. Just wonder when we might see a little bit more of the Brazilian attacking talent coming on to try and change things for them. Still 0-0.
They've got options, haven't they, on their bench? Just wondered the position that Bruno Guimarães would take up for Brazil. Is there a foul gone against Casemiro? He's not happy about something, but...
No. Very dramatic protestations. He's accidentally trodden on Djibril So's toe. He is livid. And here's news for you. Michael Beale has now been confirmed as the new Rangers manager. That has been confirmed. So I know that I'm doing commentary actually, Chris, early in the new year, 2nd of January. That's Rangers Celtic, 9 points behind at the moment. Michael Beale, the new Rangers manager. I'm sure we'll get some thoughts from Chris on that. Possibly not during this game, but it may well feature as a part of the World Cup Daily podcast, which will round everything up for you at the end of the day's play. Stefan, heavy challenge on him from Casemiro. Casemiro has the ball at his feet. Curls a nice little pass to his left. Vinicius Junior has a chance to run it to Akanji. He's going to try and beat him on the outside. Akanji's worried about that. Vinicius Junior goes down. Corner given, I think, not a free kick. Yeah. Or is it a free kick?
Well,
it is a free
kick. I've got to say, that's a very soft free kick, and I understand why the Swiss players are unhappy.
That's a shoulder to shoulder, isn't it, Chris?
Yeah,
I mean, that's like
so.
Me and you jostling for the cornflakes in the apartment.
It is a little bit, yeah, but not happy about that. Renato Stefan having words with the referee. They'll be absolutely furious if anything comes from this free kick. Akanji and Vinicius Junior.
Yeah.
Running. You understand Vinicius Junior trying to drive past him, use his pace, push the ball past him. But I thought Akanji made a fair challenge.
Dangerous for Switzerland, this two-man wall sort of guarding the space at the near post. It's just outside the penalty area, 8-9 yards up from the byline on the left. So it could be Rodrigo, the 21-year-old. No, he's going to leave it. It's going to be Rafinha with his left foot, curling ball in to the near post, headed away. Might fall to Rodrigo, tries to side foot a little pass back here to Sandro. Sandro lobs it forward down the left. Rodrigo stretches, controls, immediately under pressure. Can't keep it. Switzerland clear only as far as Sandro. Cross comes in. Flick on from Marquinhos. Nearly ran to Casemiro at the far post. And behind it goes for a goal kick. Brazil 0, Switzerland 0. Chris Sutton.
Yeah, I think that's a wasted opportunity, that free kick. We saw a goal, the Moroccan goal yesterday, from a more acute angle, yes, wasn't it? From the left-hand side near the corner flag, whipped in, and Courtois had problems.
Switzerland have lost it nearly. Vinicius Junior was on the run in that inside left channel, stopped by Akanji, but Brazil come again. Sandro's ball looking for Rodrigo. Again, Switzerland clear. Embolo will have a chance to turn inside his own half. Running away at speed from Marquinhos. Shrugs him off easily. Plays the ball to Edmilson Fernandez wide on the left. Back to Xhaka. Xhaka across the halfway line. Remember, no Shaqiri for Switzerland in this one. Another change coming for them. Michael Abisha of Bologna is getting ready to play his part in the game. 20 minutes remaining in the game. Double change coming for Brazil as well, and it's still 0-0.
Yeah, and just to finish my free kick point, I always think a right footer in those situations, whipping the ball in on the goal, and you get runners across the goalkeeper's eye line. It's impossible for the goalkeeper.
Brazil come on the counter. Vinicius Junior takes that down brilliantly. Richarlison is in the middle. So's Rafinha. Vinicius Junior gives it to Richarlison. Tries to get the far post cross in. That's blocked. And Switzerland bring it away. Embolo up the right-hand side to Stefan. Stefan fell over, picked himself up quickly, keeps it for Switzerland. Gabriel Jesus and Anthony, is it? Anthony coming on for Brazil. So Xhaka against Jesus is the old Arsenal head-to-head that we're looking forward to. Anthony, of course, of Manchester United, ready to come on for Brazil, who thought they'd found a way through, but the goal from Vinicius Junior ruled out by VAR for offside. Militao plays into midfield. Guimarães across the halfway line. Casemiro Just comes tiptoeing forward. Pass to his left to Rodrigo. Lays it off to Casemiro. On the turn, Richarlison can't get away from Elvedi. Rodriguez. Yeah.
The ball fizzed into him in a central area from Casemiro. Richarlison just peeling out to the right-hand side of the box. Back to goal, though. And the ball bounced over his foot. Hasn't been clean with his hold-up play, or clean enough. And maybe we'll see Jesus take his place.
No Neymar for Brazil. They're missing that creative spark. Guimarães on the right-hand side drives the cross in. Well blocked by Elvedi. Comes off his shins. Out it goes for a throw into Brazil. Wide on the right. 18 minutes to play. 5 live on BBC Sounds. Coverage of every single game at this World Cup for you. Coming thick and fast as ever. Final round of group games starts tomorrow. 3 o'clock commentary. Ecuador against Senegal. That is Ian Dennis and Rob Green with that one. 7 o'clock tomorrow night in full. Wales against England. Wales knowing they have to win the game. So Jesus on, Rafinha off, is that right? Anthony on, and Richarlison's off.
Yep.
Okay. Jesus and Anthony on for Richarlison and Rafinha. And Anthony immediately makes himself available to receive from the throw-in.
Yeah, Spurs off, Arsenal on.
Yeah.
Centre forward role.
Vinicius Junior's cross in. Jesus tries to get on the end of it. Cleared by Renato Stefan. Marquinhos jumps. Cushions a little pass down the right to Militao. Here's Anthony again. Quick cross into the near post. Elvedi has done a good job there. It's going to be a double change for Switzerland when it comes. Abisha will come on. So will someone else. It's the number 9 down there, which is Haris Seferovic, which is a name I'm sure you've heard before when we've covered Switzerland at major tournaments. Having qualified, of course, Switzerland for the knockout stages at the last 4 major tournaments. Vinicius Junior on the dribble, tackled by Widmer, throw in Brazil.
He's played him really well, hasn't he, Widmer? You know, we spoke about the onus on the Brazilian wingers with the way the fullbacks play in this Brazilian team. In those duels, you'd have to say the Swiss fullbacks have come out on top so far, or they've done enough.
Thiago Silva plays across to Marquinhos. Here's Casemiro, 40 yards from the Swiss goal, to Alexandro on the left. Vinicius Junior.
Oh, come on.
Got a little touch in the back, down he went.
I think that is really soft. You could say Widmer gets slightly tight, but he shouldn't go over like that.
He's waiting for the touch, isn't he, to win the
that's
free kick.
Embarrassing. And the referee buys it.
Should he be better than that, do you think, Chris?
Oh, I think he's better than that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Embolo's coming off, Seferovic is coming on. It looks like Djibril Sow is coming off, and Abisha is coming on. Still Brazil 0, Switzerland 0. Are we going to get late drama, in brackets, he says, hopefully.
Yeah, interesting. Substitution. Seferovic coming on for Embolo. What we do know is Embolo has greater pace than Seferovic. I'll be looking to use him as a target type.
Seferovic actually scored 2 against France in that win at Euro 2020 in the last 16 when Mbappe's penalty was saved by Jan Sommer and it took them through to the quarter-finals. They've got to defend this free kick for Brazil. I think he's overhit that, Rodrigo, by a long way. He's launched that on one bounce into the Brazilian fans behind the goal. That was poor.
Oh, that was not very Brazilian-like. That was awful.
It was,
wasn't it? Blimey.
It's Peter Kay-like, isn't it? Have it. A Kanji to Xhaka.
Oh, I was really
Sommer.
looking forward to this game, you know, driving to the stadium. You know, Brazil, it's always exciting, isn't it?
It is, Chris, and we are well aware. We're very lucky to be here, bringing it to you back home. 15 minutes to play. We're also doing Brazil-Cameroon on the night of the group deciders in this group.
Yeah, just put themselves under pressure if they can't find that winner.
Yeah. Here's Guimarães. Guimarães drives the diagonal with his right foot. Anthony drops off Rodriguez because he wants to win the ball from the header, which he does. Just flicks it over the head of Fernandes, plays it back to Marquinhos. And Marquinhos plays to Guimarães. So Brazil-Cameroon is Brazil's last game. Serbia, Switzerland is the other one. We'll do commentary on Brazil, Cameroon, but we will keep you updated, obviously, on what's going on in Serbia, Switzerland. If this one finishes as a draw, then both Brazil and Switzerland know a draw would do for them to get through to the last 16. Marquinhos wide to the right. But if we get a winner here, they are automatically through to the last 16 with a game to spare. Guimarães stumbling. Gets the pass to Sandro. Back to Marquinhos. Thiago Silva on the ball. Guimarães turns inside the Swiss half. Plays back to Silva. Red wall. 3 banks of red-shirted Swiss defenders defying Brazil to try and find a way through. Thiago Silva just trying to tease them forward. Casemiro looking for the ball over the top. Jesus stretches, but he can't reach, and it's behind for another Swiss goal kick.
Yeah, it's a good run from Jesus, a little bit of space in behind. Casemiro on the half-turn, spotting him, but just too heavy with the pass, and Switzerland have really done a job on Brazil. Said earlier, didn't I, on the way in, you know, coming to watch Brazil, you get excited, don't you? It's like going to watch a rave, and the perception maybe of the Swiss team is like going around your grandparents' house, isn't it?
Swiss might take offence to that. Anthony is knocked over.
You know, you still have a good time, but
well,
it's not.
You never know, Chris. I mean, you know, anything can happen to your grandparents. Anthony blocked as he makes the run down the right. And Switzerland will be content with this so far. They've not been too troubled by Brazil. Anthony's appealing for a yellow card for the challenge. He's not going to get that, but he has won a free kick.
I've got to say, I don't know whether I should say this, disappointed with the Brazilian fans in the stadium as well. They're not making a noise.
It's certainly not what it was in the Lusail Stadium in the first group game.
And think of the Argentinian
amazing
fans. I mean,
and the
blimey.
Mexican fans.
Yeah.
12 minutes left in this game. Brazil 0, Switzerland 0. Free kick for Brazil, right over on that right-hand touchline. Anthony curls in with his left. Bounces once and Sommer takes it. Just ahead of the on-rushing Brazilian teammates. Militao was close. It's one of those, if you get a toe on it, possibly stick it into the back of the net.
It'd have to have a big toe.
Who was the Spanish player they used to call Bigfoot? Was it Oyarzabal?
Who?
Oyarzabal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think it was. You think I pronounced that wrong?
Yeah.
No, Oyarzabal the golfer. But we liked him, didn't we, at the Euros, old Bigfoot? Widmer.
You know what they say?
Well, yes, Chris. To Stefan. Stefan back to Xhaka. Xhaka in the middle of the Brazilian half to Rodriguez. Goes wide out to Fernandes. Rodriguez continues his run, but that pass is beyond him.
Come on.
It's gone behind for a goal kick.
Do you know what, though? How long have we got? 10, 11 minutes left.
Yeah.
The Swiss have, they see this through, they'll be happy, but it's, they will still have work to do, I think, going into the game against Serbia. The Serbians will have to beat them by 2 goals.
Well, it's a good point, Chris. So Switzerland's goal difference would be +1. Serbia's is -2. So, yes, you're right. Serbia would get their goal difference to 0 and Switzerland would drop to -1.
I love the way you had to check on that because you did not trust me.
No, of course I trust you. Jesus. It's an issue. Wide to Anthony. Here come Brazil. Anthony, twinkle toes to the edge of the penalty area. Little layback here to Casemiro. The ball gets away from him. I think that's a Brazilian corner, though. It is.
Are Brazil a little bit predictable? The other night we spoke about Neymar, the difference maker.
They've not lit it up tonight, have they?
They haven't.
Ronaldo, Roberto Carlos, Cafu, all looking on, thinking,
why aren't they chucking the fullbacks forward?
Back in our day. Corner Brazil. Could still win it. Still 10 minutes to play. Anthony in front of reams of those yellow shirts. Curling ball in. Sommer came, but Elvedi won the header. Nodded back in by Guimarães, straight at Sommer, who makes a very easy save.
It's difficult to score from 18 yards with a header.
Quick sling out from Sommer. Abischer chases. He's covered. Cleared by Sandro. Throw in Switzerland.
So, the last game we spoke about, did Chiche not say about brand of football being so important to him in this tournament?
Absolutely.
It's not all about winning, it's about winning in style. Well,
yeah.
Not seen the style today. We talked about the Brazilian bench. Where is the spark on that bench?
They've not turned it on today for us or for you.
Yeah, it's boring Brazil today, isn't it? It's bland Brazil.
Just hang on, Chris. There's still time. Akanji. looking for an option. Pass across the halfway line. Stefan plays it to Widmer. Widmer, his pass forward is blocked. Casemiro flicks it into midfield. Guimaraes is fouled. The referee is going to play an advantage. Little trick from Rodrigo. And now the yellow shirts start to flood forward. Militao is the one bombing on down the right-hand side like a middle-distance runner on the back straight there. Kicking for home. Anthony. Guimaraes back to Marquinhos. Marquinhos wide to Vinicius Jr. Drops the shoulder, ducks inside, right-footed pass. Flicked on by Rodrigo! And it's stuck in the back of the net by Casemiro on the half volley. And there you are. That was very special. Out of nothing, a little bit of Brazilian magic to light up Stadium 974. It was Rodrigo's little touch to create the chance, and Casemiro has driven it beautifully into the back of the net. Brazil 1, Switzerland 0. They're heading through to the last 16.
Well, what a goal. What a strike this is from Casemiro. Just questioning, where's the spark? Little ball around the corner with the outside of the right boot, and it's a half volley, and he has hammered this, maybe with a slight deflection off Akanji. Sommer rooted. What a strike from Casemiro. It does. It comes off Akanji's glute and just deflects into the far corner, but he catches it flush, doesn't he? Casemiro. That was the moment Brazil have been waiting for. Murat Yakin has a look of despair, the Swiss coach on his face. Chiche delighted with that. We haven't seen the spark from Brazil. Looking at Ronaldo now.
Yeah.
Roberto Carlos and Cafu, they're applauding that strike.
That finally got them out of their seats. What a strike from Casemiro. Manchester United's Casemiro cutting across the ball with his rifle.
There, they're all there.
They're all there now. They're all celebrating, and Brazil, as it stands, heading through to the last 16 with just 6 minutes remaining in the game. Rodrigo's clever little touch teed it up, but what a finish from Casemiro. Half volley. I mean, we saw a wonderful sort of similar strike from Pavard from a different area of the pitch, where he sort of cut across the ball for France against Argentina in the World Cup in 2018.
It was an instinctive strike as the ball just fell, but it's all about the connection. You don't try and hit that one too hard. It's about just catching it cleanly, and boy did he catch it cleanly. It fizzed into the far corner past Sommer, left hand side into the side netting, halfway up. We're right behind it, as we were with Enzo Fernandez's goal the other night.
Well, suddenly the stadium is alive, awash with joyous Brazilian fans in their replica kits.
Nice to hear them singing.
And their team has scored another fabulous goal for them at this World Cup.
Are we learning a lesson about when you play Brazil, you have to be more positive, you have to have a go, because eventually that moment will come. They haven't carved or haven't created too many opportunities this evening, but when it came along, Casemiro came up trumps.
Brazil on 6 points, Switzerland on 3, Cameroon on 1, Serbia on 1. Were Switzerland to draw against Serbia, they'd go to 4, but were Cameroon to beat Brazil, they would go to 4. Cameroon currently 2 behind Switzerland on goal difference. So I think Switzerland...
Cameroon are 1 behind Switzerland on goal difference, aren't they?
Oh, they are now, correct, yes, because Switzerland have conceded here, and they might well concede again. They've got to be careful. Anthony, wide on the right-hand side. Guimaraes has made a run beyond him. Anthony's teasing Rodriguez, can't get past him. Rodriguez gets his body in the way, stoops down, picks himself up, and clears the ball with his left foot. 4 minutes remaining. Brazil 1, Switzerland 0. Ball is loose just inside the Swiss half. And then could have been a free kick for Brazil there. Alex Telles is on the field. He took a tumble, picked himself up, advantage played. And here come Brazil. Ball into the feet of Rodrigo again. Right-footed drive, and Sommer tips it over the bar. Corner for Brazil.
Yeah, decent save. Good little shift of the ball from Rodrigo. Left-hand side of the box. Fires it straight at Sommer.
Tellez playing back to Rodrigo. He created the chance for Casemiro for the goal. Thiago Silva across to Anthony, curling cross to the far post. Misses everyone. Behind it goes for a goal kick. Widmer, the right back for Switzerland, has come off. Fabian Frey has come on. And Tellez on for Sandro. That's a like for like at left back for Brazil. So Brazil are heading through to the last 16. France, we know, are through to the last 16. Portugal against Uruguay to come this evening in full on 5 Live and BBC Sounds from 7 o'clock. And then we're into those final group games from tomorrow onwards. 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon UK time. Ecuador against Senegal, which I think will be a cracking game. Netherlands against Qatar. We'll have updates on that one. Netherlands, Ecuador and Senegal all looking to try and make it through to the last 16. 7 o'clock tomorrow night, full commentary on the big one. Wales against England. Brazil have won a free kick about 25 yards out in the inside right channel. Chris Sutton.
Love watching him. Gabriel Jesus, super aggressive. Always scrapping for the ball. Backs into Vede, who does pull him down. It's a silly free kick to give away in that position where we're not quite sure whether he's going to have a pop. Right-hand side of the box, 30-ish, just over 30 yards out.
Bit less, I think.
No rush though.
No.
The Brazilians just see it through, job done, tick a box. That's what they've done in their first couple of
clean
games.
sheet, win the game, last 16, a game still to play. World number 1 team. Free kick for them, curled into the penalty area. Sommer jumps and catches the ball, that bounces. No one from Brazil able to get on the end of it. Frey plays it back to Akanji. Fernandes in the right back position. Brazil suddenly closing everything down. Vinicius Junior trying to battle for the ball. Sommer is able to scurry forward and pick it up for Switzerland. Got very little time left to try and find themselves an equaliser. Xhaka goes sliding in to try and take the ball off Anthony. Anthony has it wide on the right. Little flick pass. Xhaka blocks it. Load of yellow shirts and red shirts all clustered around each other there. Referee's going to give the free kick to someone. Brazil. Wide on the right. Tell you what, Chris, that stat I hit you with in the first half about Brazil have never played a nation 3 times at the World Cup and not beaten them. This, the 3rd time they played Switzerland, previously 2 draws. That will continue. That record.
Yeah, great stat, Bruce. I don't know whether you want a pat on the back for that stat, but
any team they've played 3 times or more in World Cup history.
That's meaningful. That's why you're here.
90th minute of the game. Brazil 1, Switzerland 0. Portugal, Uruguay to follow. And it's 7 o'clock this evening as well. FA Cup 3rd round draw live on BBC 2. Brazil have taken the free kick short. Match winner looks like it's going to be Casemiro this evening, who's not in the team necessarily to provide the goals, but he's done it tonight and he's scored an absolute beauty. Ball breaks loose inside the Brazilian half. Tellez has easily got the pace to get there. 6 minutes of added time at the end of the game starts now. Here is Tellez. Back to Silva. Silva with his left foot scuffs one. Freuler's onto it. Finds Xhaka. Xhaka immediately looking for the run on the left-hand side. Can't find a teammate and just plays a simple ball through, and Alisson is able to pick it up.
Yeah, so Brazil have come into this tournament, and we always talk about Brazil, their attacking players, don't we? We have done. We've talked about their bench, the talent, the quality they have on their bench, but defensively, there's a sloppy pass from Silva. Haven't seen that too often so far in this tournament, but they look watertight. That looks to be a great strength of theirs.
Yes.
We keep talking about their fullbacks. They aren't marauding fullbacks you would associate with Brazil over however many World Cups they've been in. They've been in every World Cup.
Yeah, this is the 22nd, Chris, yeah.
But they are very effective.
That's right. Record under Cheetahs is unbelievable. This a 49th competitive game. They've only ever lost 2. One to Belgium in the World Cup quarter-final, Copa America final last year. This will be a 54th clean sheet in 78 games as well. The numbers do stack up. Missing Neymar tonight, but they have found a way through. The update on Neymar's progress will be of interest, of course, after the game. Xhaka heads the ball forward. Still got 4.5 minutes to play here. Ball drops inside the Brazilian half. Xhaka plays back to Akanji. Kanji across to Elvedi. Elvedi has time to roll a pass back to Akanji across the halfway line. Brazil heading through to the last 16.
Switzerland.
As things stand.
They've got to show more urgency, pass the ball quicker.
Fry.
Throw caution to the wind. It's
to
all
Rodriguez.
very safe.
Rodriguez cross comes in. That's a decent ball, but Thiago Silva is there and heads it away. Ball drops in front of Renato Stefani, lets it bounce. It goes out for a throw.
I don't get this. They're ambling, the Swiss. They don't. It's a bit like Serbia the other night. Do they actually believe they can score a goal?
Rodriguez on the left, cross comes in. Marquinhos clears on the half volley, headed down by Anthony to Militao. Militao volleys the ball up towards the halfway line. Wow, what a touch and turn from Jesus. Releases Vinicius Junior. Vinicius Junior has a runner to the right. Oh no! He runs into Akanji, who makes an easy tackle. He could have played in Rodrigo, and they could have won the game.
Could have played in Rodrigo. Should have played in Rodrigo. Really sloppy pass, and Akanji cut it out.
Akanji's ball forward, headed away by Marquinhos. Still Brazil 1, Switzerland 0. Taking Brazil through to the last 16. Switzerland will still need something from the game against Serbia.
Yeah, I'm no body language expert, Bruce, as you well know, but just looking at the Swiss out there, they don't believe they can get back into this game.
If they lose to Serbia, Serbia will go to 4 points. And if Brazil beat Cameroon, or that game's a draw, that will be Serbia going through in second place. So Serbia are teeing this one up and thinking, right, lads, let's get a win against Switzerland. It's going to be a big game, that. Thiago Silva, free kick forward. Vinicius Junior to Rodrigo. Oh, great block. Akanji gets in the way of the shot. The chance went begging a couple of minutes ago. Vinicius Junior then makes amends, finds Rodrigo. Rodrigo this time can't find the back of the net.
Yep, crucial block. Just a floated ball, straight ball from inside his own half from Thiago Silva. Lovely touch from Rodrigo outside of the right boot. Vinicius Junior should have scored, didn't score. Crucial block, but he shouldn't have had the chance to block it, Akanji.
2 minutes of added time remaining. Brazil 1, Switzerland 0. Ball with Anthony on the right. Casemiro's goal coming in the 83rd minute of this game. That's how close Switzerland were to closing this down and getting themselves a valuable point. That's clever from Vinicius Junior. Lets it run. Oh, they're having fun now. Rodrigo, little step over back to Vinicius Junior. He's tackled. Fernandez bringing it away down the right. Casemiro blocks the pass. I think Vinicius Junior's onside here. He's down by the byline, wide on the left. He's cutting back infield onto his right foot inside the box. Not much support. Little Rabona cross. Control, played back to Guimaraes. Guimaraes flicks it to Telles. Guimaraes wants it back. 30 yards out. Jesus on the turn, trying to work space on the edge of the box. Jesus nearly overruns it, stretches, plays it back to Alex Telles. Can Brazil put the icing on the cake with a second goal to seal the deal? Challenge from Telles. Vinicius Junior loses
now,
it.
aren't we? We're seeing a few Brazilian flicks and tricks. Haven't seen it for, well, we're seeing it in injury time now. Would have liked to have seen this a bit earlier, this confidence.
Bit of swagger about them now. World's #1 team.
Bit of samba swagger.
Exactly. Bruce. Leading Switzerland by a goal to 0. Little flick again by Jesus, who's looked really good actually since coming on. Wins the corner for Brazil.
But is this Brazil warming up? Slow burner, Bruce.
Could be, Chris. If they win the group, they'll meet the runner-up in the Portugal, Uruguay, South Korea, Ghana group. Jesus, wide on the left, tackled. Switzerland, last 30 seconds of the game, looking to find an equaliser. Xhaka, hopeful ball forward. Anthony intercepts it.
Seferovic makes a run, diagonal run. He's the only Swiss player in the Brazilian half. They need to get back in this game.
Brazil through to the last 16. The full-time whistle blows. A bit of class from Casemiro to win the game. 7 minutes from time. A really sweetly struck right-footed half volley which flew past Jan Sommer into the top corner. Not Brazil at their brilliant best, but comfortable enough again tonight. Switzerland didn't really trouble them. They haven't conceded a goal. They've scored 3. It's 2 wins out of 2. Brazil mean business, Chris Sutton.
Yes, they do, and clearly they missed Neymar's craft, but they did enough once again. It's about getting over the line in these group stages, and it's a Casemiro cracker, as you've rightly described. hammered a left foot half volley into the net when Brazil hadn't created many opportunities, but they look so defensively solid. I think that they're a slow burner. They're only just getting started, but they're through now, aren't they?
They are through, and their fans can continue the celebrations inside the stadium. Group G, Brazil on top with 6 points. Switzerland still have 3 from the opening win against Cameroon, but the big one for them, final group game on Friday against Serbia. If Serbia were to beat them, they get to 4. Switzerland would only be on 3. They are in danger of elimination. It's finished here. Brazil 1, Switzerland 0.